if that was something else, then eventually it would turn into unironically, right? Watching Pingu. Which is unironically watching My Little Pony, right? It is the only way I can see why there are bronies.
50 times their weight. Meaning if a teenager of Peter's size had the proportional strength of a spider, he'd be capable of lifting up to 8,350 pounds. Or about the weight of 2 cars stacked on top of each other. That's some impressive work. But it really doesn't make a lot of sense because of something called the square cube law. Take a look at Spider-Man's arm here. We all know that as someone gets stronger, their muscles increase in height and in width. But not length. That would be weird. In other words, their strength increases by a square. A buffer Spider-Man wouldn't necessarily be taller, he would just have more surface area. But if we wanted Spider-Man to grow in general, his volume would increase by height, width, and length. A cube. As an organism grows, it gets bigger faster than it gets stronger. Meaning spiders don't lift up to 50 times their weight because their muscles are better than ours, they lift up to 50 times their weight because they're tiny. If they were scaled up to Peter Parker size, they'd just be about as strong as an average human. Scale them up even further, and they'd eventually collapse under their own weight. But Spider-Man stands in blatant defiance of that rule. He lifts things up to 50 times his size as though he were an inch tall. Or smaller. I mentioned earlier that 8,000 pounds was impressive, and it is, 8 times the world record, but Spidey can do way better than that. Here he is lifting a massive chunk of cement blown straight from the side of a building. And here he is just lifting a building. Or supporting one section of it anyway. It was a big building. Here, Spider-Man lifts a train car while enraged. The average train car weighs about 20 tons or 40,000 pounds, so that's 240 times his weight. At this point, we're getting way stronger than a spider should be. One time,
you are
he literally knocked
forgetting
Scorpion's jaw
that he's been bit by a radioactive spider, alright? Radioactive. Emphasis on radioactive, alright? So maybe something changed in the muscles that aren't very natural, alright? Super
with a single punch.
natural.
And in another story, this private
Which
jet
is the
was falling
unknown
out of the
science,
sky,
right?
So Spider-Man just goes outside,
Forsen, who
forces
are
the
you
landing
trying
gear
to
down,
fool? I
and supports
just
the weight of
hacked
the
into
entire
your
plane
stream
on his
lens, and you
back.
did not receive
Being a
any
nerd like me,
donation
he even
today.
calculates the struggle
You
in
are
his
just
head.
pulling these
Landing weight
links
over
out of your
75,000
ass
pounds.
and making it
Full
seem
on
that
fuel.
it's chat sending holy coppers in.
Am I also sending that one to myself?
Add another 30 to 40,000. Combined with thrust, and Spider-Man is supporting over 115,000 pounds in this panel. That's 57.5 tons. At this point, not only is Spider-Man holding up nearly 689 times his weight, but it's the equivalent of supporting 8 African elephants at once, the largest land animal on Earth. Or 6 T-Rex, whichever you prefer. Spider-Man fought dinosaurs before. But interestingly enough, despite his amazing strength, one of the most iconic Spider-Man moments of all time was about him struggling to lift something. If This Be My Destiny is a classic story arc written by Stan Lee and illustrated by Steve Ditko. It acted as one of the earliest powerful dramas in comic book history when Peter Parker's adoptive mother, Aunt May, suffered a mysterious illness apparently caused by an earlier blood transfusion between her and Peter. And sadly, the doctors tell him she probably won't make it. Peter does everything he can,
Forsen
of
with
course,
the dumb
contacting some
takes
experts
again. We all enjoy watching Pindu. From the saddest base to the most dumbass base. We all like Pindu because it's a fun, funny and cute show about a penguin. How can you not like it? No childhood Senaware.
No, childhood for sure. Emphasis on childhood. Emphasis on child. Alright? I don't have the fucking entertainment standard of a fucking 7-year-old. Alright? And if you are serious, then that just proves my point of you unironically thinking it's good. So, you
even
with the shit
managing to
take.
raise money for a possible cure, but a necessary ingredient gets stolen by a supervillain while en route to delivery. This makes him furious. Spider-Man isn't going to have this. Aunt May's blood will not be on his hands. So he tracks down the supervillain responsible in an underwater base, because why not, and the two face off in a battle so intense that they actually collapse the support beam for the base's iron interior. Oops. You see, you can't have a base underwater without making it out of something that can withstand the pressure underwater. Nearly the entire upper
Under
section
pressure.
collapses on Spider-Man. The villain runs for his life, and the penultimate issue of this story ends with Spider-Man trapped beneath an unmovable iron surface as water slowly starts to fill in from above. This is the cover for that story's conclusion. Beaten, weak, his aunt's life hanging by a thread, his own life measured in minutes as the ceiling begins to break. Spider-Man can't even budge the heavy debris he's trapped under, and the one thing that can save his only family is just out of his reach, because he couldn't control his
Forsen.
temper.
With
Because
all
he
the
made the ceiling
retarded shit
collapse.
chat donates, can you show us your YouTube recommendations?
Oh, do it, bro. Do it.
I mean, you'll see it popping up on the right. It's kind of scuffed because it's also related to the video, but half. I guess if you scroll down. No, this is all Spider-Man. I don't know time, alright? We don't have time for this either, alright? Fucking shit, my ass, alright? I get it. But Spider-Man could have easily gotten out by dislocating his fucking shoulder.
All these years,